So if you watch some of my previous videos, you saw when I cut these first couple ribs out that they're rotten. I can stick my whole finger up in there, so I'm gonna have to change all of these ribs out. I've got the floor cut out just past the fuel tank. I'm gonna have to cut further, but taking it a piece at a time. And when I was showing this to some people at work, they were like, oh, that's such a huge project. How are you going to manage that? I would never be able to do it. And it's really not as complicated as it looks. So I'm going to show you a few things here. If you look at think of a boat, everything's mirrored from one side to the other. What's on the right's on the left. So I've got these two ribs still in place. I cut those out. But if you think about it, the two run front to back. Those are going to be the same. So there's only two you've got to worry about. Just making them twice. Then you've got one rib in the back. 2, 3, 4 goes all the way across. And then there's a little one there. So you're talking, what? 7 pieces you've got to make a template for up to where I've cut out so far. And all you have to do is double up on everything. And there's ways you can do it. You could take paper or cardboard, make patterns, but I'm going to show you a real simple way. This is a drop off of wood from where I built my workbench earlier this month. What I prefer to use is 1/4 inch plywood cut into strips about this exact same size. And all you do is you take and you cut one for the bottom, the side, the other side, and then one across the top. Then what you do is you come over, you use take hot glue, put the bottom one in place, put a little glue in the corner, glue the next one up, the next one, and you don't have to worry about getting it perfect. If you notice, there's a little gap down at the bottom. All you have to do is when you have a little gap like that, you just measure it right on the template, plus 1/4 inch or plus whatever. Like I've done here, drew an arrow to the edge, plus 2.5. What that tells me is when I go to use this template to cut the piece that goes in, I'm going to add a 1/4 inch to whatever length is right here. Take a tape measure, and that's where my mark is. Then I've got patterns for everything. If you look at how simple that is, this took me less than a minute to make. Maybe a minute and a half at the most. But all I have to do is write on there section number 1 inside, because you have it inside and outside. The ones that go forward, you just number them 1, 2, 3, 4. After that, it's easy. You make the patterns, you cut the old out, grind everything out. Now, what these patterns aren't going to tell you is there's thicknesses here from the fiberglass laid over the top. So these aren't perfect. It's just going to be a starting point, but it will give you something to work with where you're not starting from nothing. Ideally, you grind all the fiberglass off down to the bare wood, but you can see here there's no wood to grind down to. We're going to start with this. We'll get an estimate, and we can lay these out. What you do is you measure from the back fiberglass here to wherever you want to start and stop, and then you just add in the space. Takes a little bit of math, but it's really not that bad. So Hope you appreciate or enjoyed this little explanation. If I can help anymore, let me know.